I think this will officially go down as like the latest stream that I've ever done, but thank you so much for clicking on the video. Let's get into the juice. So I'm away on the timeline, right? Like I'm like not paying attention for a couple of hours tonight. I check, I check, and oh my God, the Crashouts are absolutely legendary. So then I'm like, all right, once I get home, I'm gonna end up doing a stream, and maybe we'll go through and we'll try to find out like some of the negativity that's going on, right? But then I go to like what I've had saved over the past couple of days. Well, I shouldn't even say that because we stream every day, so it's like, you know, whatever comes across, you know, you're trying to consume, trying to comment, trying to think of. And all of the headlines are just the best. Like, genuinely speaking, apart from like the two openers that we're going to discuss, it's like sort of negative. How are people bearish right now? It's unreal. It's unreal. But let's jump into it. So Matt saying crypto bros' eyes glaze over when they hear that users in the global south caring less about speculation and come to crypto as a way to escape volatility from domestic currencies. I agree. I am like all on board with this. So there's a lot of collecting in general where you think, okay, this is going to go up. But what if you're just trying to find a safety net? Because I think it's going to be like a real deal. So here's a comment from Larry Fink regarding this.
If you believe that countries are going to continue to debase their currency, if you believe that there's going to be global rise of insecurity, owning crypto assets or gold are assets of fear. You own these assets because you're frightened of the debasement of your assets. You're worried about your financial security. You're worried about your physical security, and between crypto assets and gold, they believe, you know, there's a strong belief that is a good hedge against optimism. Okay?
So it is sort of funny within that same breath where you talk to a lot of people and you say, hey, why can I no longer get like a foot long at Subway? Or why, when I order a pizza, is it like $30? I don't know. Maybe we got to study this currency thing a little bit more. This headline I like because it's somewhat accurate. So Justin, France considers bill to acquire 2% of Bitcoin's total supply and create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, we've seen multiple people that try to say, hey, all these countries are going to do one. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, being one of the most prominent within it. But for argument's sake, how fast do these different nations end up doing it? Because there was a lot of headlines saying, oh, France is coming out and going to acquire 2% of Bitcoin's total supply, which is a lot, by the way. But then they realized, oh, okay, somebody just like submitted a bill to progress this to potentially acquire that much. We're going to be talking more about collecting in general. Collectibles, collectors. Collector loses $3 million on Babe Ruth rookie card flip. The collector once paid $7.2 million for the card. I feel like going for like certain one-of-ones of sorts are sort of weird. Also, I think like age plays a huge demographic because for something that I like, right, where we'll use the example of like the Digimon Garurumon card. Like, how do you care about this? Do you look at this card and say, wow, what a hit of nostalgia, I'd absolutely buy that? Or say, you know what, I don't care. Well, it's because I grew up with it. And while sports names transcend time itself, I do think that there are certain names that like sort of fall out because it's just people didn't grow up with it. So how can they realistically value it more than others? Yo, what's going on, Derek? Bro, you got to check out my Otani collection at this point. Yo, did you post it the other day? I feel like there was a couple of like Otani things that I saved across my timeline. Maybe it was you. But good to see you, and thank you for stopping through. Isn't it funny that NFT people are taking shots on the only last standing founders who have actually completed what 3 years ago was considered huge? I'm I am just sitting here, right? And I'm trying to enjoy life. And people are online fighting all the time. I swear to God. If you and I, Yappo the Clown, what's going on? Okay, so imagine there's Yappo, there's Derek, and me. And we're the first arrivers. And we're at a Denny's. And we're going to have a shindig with a bunch of other crypto people. And we say every single week, I don't care what day it is, make it a weekday if you want to add some spice to your life. But we hang out and we get to talk about this stuff. I feel we would have the time of our lives. Now, imagine that we didn't know each other and we were online and we disagreed on something. We would probably just start throwing fists online. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the culture of like talking online has changed. And like, I'm at a point where like, I'm going to try to get a little bit better of like tweeting thoughts again. But there was a point where I just feel everyone is so easily triggered. You can't even like make comments of something when you're like, just trying to make like a passerby comment without somebody just absolutely losing it. They're in the loony bin. It's unreal. Why do all crypto coins tend to follow Bitcoin charts? Can you explain the correlation? I mean, it's the big dog, right? Like I'm not going to give like a great answer here because it's just sort of the way that things work, but it's almost like CryptoPunks in a way too. When CryptoPunks end up soaring, you see the NFT market kind of do well too. Or at least they're like the first movers, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh my goodness, okay, I own a CryptoPunk that was once $50,000. Oh, you're telling me it's $200,000 now? So if I sold that CryptoPunk, I could then spend $200,000 on whatever I want. I could spread it across a bunch of different collections. I could go all in on one and absolutely moon it, right? So liquidity is a big component to it, but why does everything follow Bitcoin? Well, because it is king. But Derek, I'm glad that you're down with Denny's. Juice, what's going on, Juice? Good to see you here live. I'm not going through the rest of it, but like, I just find it so stupid that people are crashing out on the timeline and fudding the people that are still here, right? Like, we are supposed to coexist in this bright, happy, like, I'm trying to think of like a world. I want to say like Narnia, but I feel like Narnia is like not that happy. You have that like Ice Queen that's like really not great. Aslan the Lion, though, what an absolute chad. You know what I'm saying? What NFTs am I buying to become rich? Oh, listen, unreal question. Unreal question. Justin, $2 trillion Japanese payments processor, TIS, to launch blockchain-based platform for stablecoins and tokens. So we're going to get into a bunch of different headlines that are coming up through here. And one of them being the Solana ETF. My memory probably serves me incorrectly, but I feel that when the Ethereum and Bitcoin ETFs really started becoming popular, I don't recall if it had that much of an impact on the market like immediately. I know that whenever it started going up, there was all these conversations around it, but I'm trying to place on where that happened, and maybe it was just the Ethereum one. But the Solana ETFs just happened, and we have this notion of, yeah, I remember when we used to credit the ETFs having like a pretty big pull on things. It was like nothing, right? Like if we were going to go over and check out the Solana chart right now, we're at like 197. We're up like, oh, hold on. How do we? I mean, it's just, past couple of days, it's hovered. It's not really done anything crazy, but that massive ETF happened. So what's going to be the follow-up? Simon Ralph, panic disguised as sage observations on NFT floor prices even after big announcements. If you believe that the future of finance and ownership is in crypto and Web3, then you should believe in the NFT collections you're invested in or collecting for fun. The world is going to be tokenized. Art with provenance is its highest form of expression. And we're at a point, right, where we're just like sitting here and saying, yeah, okay. We watch the Schiller guy. We pay attention to these new brands that are coming out of the Web3 crypto sector. We're playing some of the games at points, which there was a big raise, not a ginormous raise, but a big raise from one of my favorite games that I need to get back into, which we'll get to in a second. Mtali Wasad. How are we? Circle has launched the Arc blockchain testnet in collaboration with over 100 institutional partners, including Visa, BlackRock, HSBC, Anthropic, and AWS, to advance large-scale blockchain infrastructure and institutional adoption. And you got people on the timeline being like, oh my God, my NFTs, bro. Like, look at the friggin' headlines coming through here. Now, Girl in the Verse Melina, if you happen to have a TikTok account, she's on there, she's on X. Absolutely love her. Great content. But man, is it not scary that on all these platforms, you're just kaputzed if your account gets hacked? Well, I mean, whether it gets hacked, whether it gets deleted for whatever reason, where's the decentralized version? Like, I'm trying to think, okay? And not to like big myself up, but there's like maybe like a 1 in 10 chance that I can message just random, extremely notable people on X. And God willing, there's a chance that they could respond and be like, yo, all right, you know, I see the profile, you're doing stuff, all right, it's decent. Like, okay, cool, we're talking. If that just all got deleted, what do I have? What do I have to show? Or any kind of meaning or any kind of like pizzazz? And the NBA 2K, the esports league, it shut down and they deleted like all the VODs. And her account getting deleted or suspended, whatever it is, plus that thought the other day made me realize, holy crap, like we really are like completely screwed if our accounts get deleted for whatever reason. Justin, Apple becomes the 3rd company in history to reach a $4 trillion market cap. Things are cooking. So we're going to do like a bigger piece around the MetaMask drop, but I wanted to highlight it for a minute. So Michael K, who's on the team, says MetaMask rewards are just one part of a massive ecosystem. You may already have points waiting. Update on mobile, you can use the code, reward tokens, reduce fees, and a whole bunch of other stuff. They never end in airdrop. And everybody around the world just forehead smacked, right? We've got an OpenSea that's farming. We've got MetaMask that's farming. What of all of like, why is there such a negativity around MetaMask? And why is there such a negativity around OpenSea? Is it because the NFTs are fluctuating? Is it because it's kind of the same reward systems and nobody's iterated on it? So we're just like fudding it because we don't think that anybody's original with things? I'm not sure. One post that I saw wanted to make a clarification that the points, or excuse me, the rewards is different than the token. So realize that this rewards that they're doing right now is apparently different than what their actual like token is going to be. So this is just like another option to farm points where you get rewards, but it's not for the MetaMask token. It's just for whatever the hell MetaMask rewards are that maybe could be token. So I saw that as like a clarifying post. I need to find it. I went through like 40 different posts and I was like, all right, we're not going to go too long here on the stream, but that's part of it. Yo, Yappo, we should be a community as a whole. If I say you should go check this AI or this fun blockchain out, people get defensive like I'm trying to sell something. It's not about money. It's about getting AAA games attention or other industries attention, giving them, yo, Yappo the clown. I'm gonna get Yappo tattooed right there. Be like, you know my man Yappo? Guy knows what he's talking about. I completely agree. And it's funny because I have like a self-realization that I got hit up from like 1 or 2 other friends past couple of days that are like just sending me things. And you're right. Like my immediate reaction is like, I don't know if I want to check it out. Now, part of that is because, all right, well, maybe I'm not going to put like funds in it, or I can't put funds in it or whatever, but I should be looking at it of, okay, at least I know that it exists, which for an example, on the live stream we did a couple days ago, we went over Tibber. And if you didn't see Tibber, and I don't really have much of this just for transparency, but I think that this is actually like, this is really, really interesting. So, sugar, you guys are not even going to be able to see this, are you? It's off to the side. I need to move my, where is it? There we go. So Rabita by Virtual. So everybody's talking about like these virtual agents and whatnot. And if you change excuse me. It says Rabita because it's like an online agent for X, but if you can see over here for like the actual ticker of it, it's Tibber. If you spell it backwards, it's called Ribbit. And Ribbit Capital is somebody that like invested in Coinbase, invested in Uniswap, and invested in Robinhood. Like they are like the Pico Primo, holy crap. If you're associated with them, like the success and track record is insane. And so there's all these rumors and stuff that they've compiled these sheets, and I put it together in like a 30-minute video going over the paper and some of the things that they said. But this Tibber is supposed to be Ribbit Capital's coin that allegedly has AI agent integration, and the stars align. And, you know, me saying that, you could think, all right, well, whatever, this guy's just like talking crap. But the founder of Ribbit Capital, Mickey Malka, I think is his name, and apologies if I messed up that name, but Raoul Paul was interviewing him and says, hey, what's this like Rabita AI agent that you have on X? And he's like, nothing. And you could tell that there was like actually something around it. So that's an example of, okay, well, if somebody told me that or just said, hey, like, go look at this, I'd probably just be like, yeah. But I'm glad that I went over it, and hopefully you guys enjoy that video. If you've not seen it, again, scroll for it on YouTube in the live stream or on my bio on X. Do you guys find that like live streams are sort of weird on YouTube? Like, okay, I want to go watch somebody, and then you think it's going to be a video, but then you have to like specifically go to the live stream. Unreal. Yapo, it's the MetaMask wallet. I should have the option to not allow people to have full access to it. Security has always been a huge problem in a decentralized world, but my mouse click should be centralized, if that makes sense. The biggest problem that I have with like the MetaMask reward thing is they're forcing you to do it on mobile. Now, is it the be all and end all if you happen to have like your wallet on your phone? No, not really, but like, you know, the whole security aspect, what if somebody takes your phone? What if, you know, there's some compromisation, anything, right? I don't know. I don't feel like as secure on mobile. And currently there's like nothing you can do about it. You have to do it on mobile. Now, this is not right now. I feel like I've baited anybody that's staring at the screen, but this was a day ago. This was a day ago. Guys, it's down like $6,000. I love crypto. Listen, we're up 5,000. We're down 6,000. Oh, then we're back up again. I can't remember the last time that it's felt like this volatile in such a short order. So that's got to be good news, right? That's got to be good news. Still waiting for a 2021 type of alt season? Yeah, you and me both. In 2021, CoinMarketCap, the crypto tracking website, tracked 20,000 coins. Today it tracks 26 million. Are we serious? Are we serious? And within Ribbit Capital and their token letter that they released in 2025, they talked about how AI agents and all this stuff, all they want is tokens and more tokens. And the concept that we've talked about on the RWA SegMints podcast of tokenizing everything, which is not, not a term that is unheard of, because everybody's been saying that lately. But it might actually be like how it goes. It might like damn well be how it goes. Just in NVIDIA to invest $1 billion in Nokia. My dad had like a Nokia phone that had like a bowling game on it. But I can't name a single thing that Nokia does right now. I got to do some research on Nokia. I got to do it. But why is NVIDIA skyrocketing? Why are they doing these things with Nokia? Well, here's a little bit of an insight.
Today, we're announcing that the Department of Energy is partnering with NVIDIA to build 7 new AI supercomputers to advance our nation's science. I have to have a shout out for Secretary Chris Wright. He has brought so much energy to the DOE, a surge of energy, a surge of passion to make sure that America leads science again. As I mentioned, computing is the fundamental instrument of science, and we are going through several platform shifts. On the one hand, we're going to accelerated computing. That's why every future supercomputer will be GPU-based supercomputer. We're going to AI, so that AI and principled solvers, principled simulation, principled physics simulation is not going to go away, but it could be augmented, enhanced, scaled, use surrogate models, AI models, working together. We also know that principled solvers, classical computing, could be enhanced to understand the state of nature using quantum computing. We also know that in the future, we have so much signal, so much data we have to sample from the world, remote sensing is more important than ever. And these laboratories are impossible to experiment at the scale and speed we need to unless they're robotic factories, robotic laboratories. So all of these different technologies are coming into science at exactly the same time.
So the Department of Energy and NVIDIA are working together to build 7 supercomputers. How big is a supercomputer? Like, how expensive is that? If you were going to look and try to find, like, the most expensive computer build right now, does it even come remotely close? Like, if you were trying to get the most decked... Obviously, the answer is no, by the way. Like, I'm not stupid. I understand how significant it is. But, like, what's the discrepancy from, like, the retail version of the absolute best computer you could buy in the market, assuming that you're building it yourself and everything, versus what, like, those big dogs would buy? Western Union to launch a stablecoin on Solana. That's kind of neat. Little Pudgy Whale. I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. All right, let's see. So Pudgy Penguins confirm they are working with the #1 animation studio in the world in DreamWorks. Pengu is going to be introduced into Kung Fu Panda around the world and likely turn into a full-fledged Pengu movie. The floor is 7 ETH? LOL. Well, first of all, the crypto volatility, oh baby, that plays a part. Number 2, I think that there was like actually like a fair amount of fun. Here, back to the beginning of the stream when I said everybody's together. We're all into the same stuff. The only difference is that I minted something at one time, you minted it at a different, or you happen to have the funds to buy something when I didn't, or you had a friend that said that. You know, it's like the choose your own adventure sort of thing. It's like it just happened the way that it fell. But otherwise, theoretically, we could be best friends. In theory. But what we saw is like the first announcement around the Kung Fu Panda was that they were doing Telegram stickers, which that's fine. We've seen a lot of people do these Telegram stickers, but it sort of felt like the tonality was, okay, so they're doing Telegram stickers and that's the only thing they're doing with Kung Fu Panda? Like that's what I was reading on the timeline. Like, I don't think that's the case, but why? Why does that feel like the way people are thinking? Did NVIDIA ever name their Project Spark? I'm going to be real with you. That sounds super familiar, but I don't even know what that is. Whatnot has raised $225 million at an $11.5 billion valuation. Now, Whatnot's a platform where you're able to go. I mean, theoretically, maybe we'll be on there one day, and we're cracking open our Digimon cards. We're getting the Marvel ones, and then we got the Vibes TCG. You know what I mean? Now, these are graded, right? But what if we're going to do pack rips on stream? That's the concept with it. You're able to partake and having like an immersive shopping experience for your collectibles. It's great. Speaking of collectibles, Captain Zwingli says the UPS store rep said we all couldn't wait to ask you if these drinks were good. One of the brands proliferating from Web3. And the crazy part with this, and from my understanding, I might be completely wrong in my assessment of this, but I saw somebody on the timeline when Rekt Drinks came out. They bought crates of it. Because it came with a token allocation. And because the token is done well, for the person that bought it, if they have a business where they, sell drinks, whatever, well, it's okay. So they can resell those to recoup the costs. But then also, you kind of double dip because you got a whole bunch of tokens, and if they go up in value, well, holy smokes. So you kind of have like 2 revenue models within it, which is very unique. Now, that's a very specific situation where, you own a restaurant, you own a convenience store, what the hell ever, and you have customers for it. But is that what it looks like when we say we're tokenized in the future and offering different things that we maybe once haven't experienced? It was a small square supercomputer from their big showcase, literally fit in his hand. Oh, really? Holy smokes. So for Rekt Drinks, you guys know that they're sponsoring FaZe Clan for their esports season?
So in addition to expanding our product range, what's next for Rekt? It's distribution. In August this year, we announced a strategic partnership with GameSquare, a NASDAQ-listed company. GameSquare made headlines earlier in the year for adopting an ETH treasury strategy, but it also owns one of the largest esports brands out there, FaZe Esports, which has an audience of almost 300 million. As part of the agreement, GameSquare will hold Rekt Coin on their balance sheet. There will be an agency of record for Rekt, helping us bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. And we will be a shirt sponsor for FaZe Esports. But here's the biggest part of the deal. We will be doing a FaZe Esports Rekt collaboration product. And just to give you an idea of how big that's going to be, the last collaboration product that FaZe did, an energy product, was the highest selling energy product in 7-Eleven stores across the US in 2023. FaZe licensed products have netted almost $75 million of revenue in just a 2-year period. This will be our biggest collaboration yet, and it is our first meaningful step outside of Web3 and into the wider world.
I hope you can understand. Well, I'm not being, jumping around, excited, woo, but I'm trying to lay it out on every stream that I can. These announcements that are coming out are insane. And sure, our daily collecting, whatever the hell you want to call it, your engagement within Web3 is going to probably alter from whatever it is right now, but there is some damn cool things happening, and absolutely love to hear that coming from Rekt. Breaking. China's largest fintech company, Ant Group, just filed multiple crypto-related trademarks, including Antcoin. Okay. And Securitize, the leading tokenization platform to become a public company at $1.25 billion valuation via business combination with Cantor Equity Partners to tokenize the world. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's a game within Web3. Well, everybody says, oh, crypto is dead. They just had a land sale, one of the few collections that can mint out decent amounts of supply for a decent price, and coming up with a $2 million strategic raise. It's kind of neat. But that's going to do it for this edition of XV. Thank you so much for coming on through on probably the latest stream that we've ever done for that. Hope you guys have a phenomenal evening. We'll be back tomorrow. Yappo the Clown, appreciate you coming through and adding some context within it. Maybe we'll end up doing way later streams. I'm trying to figure out of what's best. I've done some ones in the morning. We've tried doing the ones around 5 p.m. Eastern, but feels kind of cool talking with a couple of you guys because I feel like some of the streams we got, nobody comes by. So maybe later's a little bit better. Tali, I know you're on all the streams, so appreciate you coming through. Juicy as well. And Derek, I'm excited to see that Otani collection. It's going to be good. But enjoy your night, guys. We'll talk soon. Peace.